All right, so Mac just put out this video, the problem with exotic class items and how to fix it. I did this video about a day ago. I know you guys wanted us to watch it. We'll take a look at it right now.
Exotic class items should be, by all accounts, nothing but an overwhelming success. But despite being introduced into a game that continues to become more and more focused on build crafting as time goes on, exotic class items have instead shown themselves to be more of a point of contention and frustration. How did this happen?
I have no idea.
Well, interestingly, it has nothing to do with their actual function, as they have been game-changing when it comes to creating unique and enjoyable builds to provide interesting new gameplay loops. The actual problem that seems to be plaguing the entire Destiny community is obtaining them in the first place. Not necessarily obtaining an exotic class item itself, but rather obtaining one that is worth using. My goal with this video is to explain the problems surrounding exotic class item acquisition in hopes that this gains traction and makes its way to the eyes of Bungie devs, who can contemplate some of the solutions we'll be presenting today. So hit those like and subscribe buttons if you are all aboard the revolutionization of exotic class item acquisition.
Do it.
And let's
Everybody do it
for the better. Before we can propose solutions, however, we first need to understand what the actual problem is. At a surface level, you might just think, well, the problem is simple. Getting a specific role that you want is just too hard. And while I wouldn't disagree with that sentiment, is that really all that's going on here? As of the making of this video, each class has 16 potential perks that can fit into 2 available slots on each class item, making for a total possible 64 perk combinations.
It's a lot.
64 unique possible exotic class items per class.
Dude, it's a lot, dude. Like, hold on. Let me go to my dim right now. So look at my class items right now. And look, I only have 24, 25 out of the 64 combinations. I probably definitely got some dupes in here. Got some of my postmasters that I legitimately got last night. But the thing is, this is like consistent grinding every day for quite a while now. And I still don't have all the combinations.
And due to the fact that the game offers no form of knockout system, bad luck protection, or safeguards against duplicates, you have a plain and simple 1 in 64 chance of getting your desired combination from any given drop. That's a 1 in 64 chance on your first drop, a 1 in 64 chance on your second drop, and a 1 in 64 chance on your 100th drop. There is no light at the end of the tunnel when chasing that Caliban Liar's God roll. Trust me, I would know. But that's not even as bad as it can get. I mean, let's say you're an aspirational Destiny collector and you want all of the possible roles.
I want them all, man.
After all, a looter shooter game like Destiny is at least 50% about getting all of the loot if we are going based off the genre name. How long exactly would that take? Well, to obtain all 64 possible combinations for a given class, you would need to obtain an average of 304 total exotic class item drops, 240 of which would be duplicate rolls. Now, I am all for the grind and having loot to chase after over long periods of time, but to put this monstrous task into perspective, if you acquired exotic class items through the current fastest obtainable method in the game, the Dual Destiny Exotic Mission, and averaged a modest 20-minute runtime across your 304 runs, this would take you 101 hours or 4.2 days of straight non-stop dual Destiny gameplay.
Hell yeah.
That's just for one character. If
Hell
you wanted
yeah.
to get all 64 drops for all 3 classes, then these values jump up to 192 unique class items obtained over 912 runs, spanning 303 hours or 12.6 days of non-stop play. I don't care who you are or how much you love difficult to acquire loot, that is an absolutely ludicrous requirement.
Let me see where I'm at on mine. So if you go to Blue Ingram, guys, you sign in and then you click catch them all. Never mind.
So how do we fix it? Well, the first thing that might come to your mind is to bring back the formerly bugged double drops to Dual Destiny. But looking at the numbers, all that would do is take our average 304 required runs down to an average of 152 required runs. While this is certainly a significant improvement, does running Dual Destiny 152 times per character sound like a fun and viable solution?
No.
So you might then think, okay, well then let's add some dupe protection as well. Say perhaps that any roll that you already have is only 50% as likely to drop compared to a roll that you do not already possess. In doing so, we would take our average required runs to acquire all exotic class items for one class down to an average of 184 runs with an average of 120 duplicate drops, or half those runs at 92 per class if you implemented this alongside the reinstitution of double drops. In all honesty, running Dual Destiny an average of 92 times per class still doesn't sound like my idea of a good time. So then let's take a closer look at what seems to be the main problem here: duplicates. So let's implement a knockout system. One and done. If you have a roll in your inventory or vault, that roll can no longer drop, resulting in 64 required Dual Destiny runs per class to get all required rolls. Maybe I'm just getting old, but running anything in Destiny 64 times per class or 192 times in total just doesn't sound fun. So what on earth can we do to fix this problem? Well, what if I told you that I think that the general Destiny community is looking at this issue all wrong? That main issue, in my opinion, is not necessarily the astounding 64 possible combinations or even the possibility of duplicates, but rather the number of exotic class item acquisition sources. There are countless loot sources in Destiny: Patrol, Strikes, Gambit, Crucible, Trials, Iron Banner, Nightfalls, Grandmaster Nightfalls, 7 dungeons, 8 raids, exotic missions, Pathfinders, vendor resets, seasonal activities, and on and on and on. Yet when you look at the literal hundreds of ways that you can earn loot in Destiny, only 3 of those methods have a non-zero chance to reward exotic class items. These are, of course, the Dual Destiny mission, something that takes about 20 minutes per run, requires a teammate, and provides no other loot, chest farming and Patrol, which no one has done in years for good reason, and the co-op campaign missions, which I bet you probably didn't even know had a chance to drop them because no one is running those outside of people who are still doing the microcosm quest. Contrast this with something like traditional exotic armor drops, which can be earned through Vex Offensive, Legend Lost Sectors, Grandmaster Nightfalls, any vendor reset, or literally even just getting a lucky engram drop from any enemy in the entire game. Any second that you spend playing Destiny is also a second that could reward an exotic engram, and it is in my humble opinion that this is the very solution to the exotic class item acquisition problem. So what specifically should be done? Well, first things first, any aspirational activity in all of Destiny should reward an exotic class item drop. Things like maxing out wins on a Trials of Osiris passage, completing a full raid, beating a Grandmaster Nightfall, resetting a vendor rank for any vendor in the game, or completing a full Pathfinder scheme. This change alone will result in progress towards an exotic class item drop for any second that you spend playing Destiny 2. Furthermore, this also gives us the opportunity to look at some beautifully designed activities like Grandmaster Excision and give players more reasons to partake in them beyond a single clear for the Ergo Sum Catalyst. Gathering 11 other friends and triumphing over a Grandmaster Excision is no small feat, so much so to the point that I feel it's not completely unreasonable to guarantee 2 exotic class item drops per Grandmaster Excision clear, with a chance to get an additional one for a total of 3. Couple this with occasional double loot weeks like we have seen for Grandmaster Nightfalls and PvP, and it could become one of the most looked forward to and collaborative community events Destiny has ever seen. Now, yes, despite these changes, Dual Destiny would still be the fastest way to farm exotic class items, with solo chest farming and patrol being a comparable solo option, especially considering how laid back and leisurely it is. The goal here is not to make the original source outdated, as Dual Destiny is an absolute masterpiece. The goal here instead is to make it so that players have options beyond Dual Destiny to receive additional class items drops, adding a supplemental incentive to the entirety of Destiny's loot journey in all facets of the game. Because no matter how good the Dual Destiny mission is, running it nearly 1,000 times to unlock all of the loot available through it is simply not an enjoyable time for any player of the franchise. Exotic class items are an opportunity to enrich what has come to be one of the most beloved aspects of Destiny in interesting and unique.
Such a masterpiece, nobody wants to do it. Well, Bungie did a lot of work on that exotic mission, and I think it is a very good mission, and creatively it's extremely good. I love Mac's idea about just giving us more drop sources in general would be really, really good. Part of me wonders if we could possibly take it a step forward. Like what if before you did Dual Destiny, you hit Dual Destiny, you're about to launch the mission, and there's an option to sacrifice 2 exotics. You sacrifice Liar's Handshake, you sacrifice Caliban, and then from Dual Destiny, you'll get a guaranteed drop of that. I guess that would completely eliminate RNG, and people want RNG and they want grind here. And I guess that kind of goes against our, since we could focus exotics too. You can't, yeah, no, you could just pull those from collections, right? I don't know. Maybe, I mean, if you guys are wanting to sacrifice, like maybe 2 exotics and an exotic cipher, make it cost exotic ciphers to forge the item. Well, the reason why I'm not saying completely just remove you, because Bungie really wants us to do Dual Destiny. All right, we do Dual Destiny. So that would still incorporate Dual Destiny into the equation. Maybe use Raul to focus your targeted traits. Yeah, or even, yeah, that's another thing. Maybe Raul can have something where we could target a specific drop. And even if it's not a guaranteed drop, even if it was like, hey, every run you do a Dual Destiny until you select something else, the first column will always roll with this specific trait. And so the RNG really just comes down to the second trait pairing. And maybe you have to sacrifice an Ascendant Shard per run or something, or an exotic Ingram per run for that. So you have a lock trait, if you will. Let's continue. Now, Mac's throwing out some fantastic suggestions here, though. And I think that just his suggestion alone would probably fix all these problems.
Builds. They were also added in a way that can give players that moment of hype similar to receiving the Galahorn or Vex Mythoclast in year 1 of Destiny 1. I think it's a good thing to have things in the game that can make someone's entire week when they see it drop. I just think it's important to have that magical possibility of a God Roll exotic class item drop to be present in all areas of the game rather than being secluded to just a handful of missions. So to summarize, here is how I would fix the problem that is acquisition of exotic class items. Step 1 is to remedy the issue of duplicate drops, which in my opinion is best done by setting the drop chance of any already owned exotic class item to 50% of that of an unowned class item. As we said before, this would require a total average of 184 class item drops per character to eventually own every single exotic class item combo in the game. This is certainly still a lot of drops, but remember, this isn't something that's meant to be done in a week, and it's okay for the idea of acquiring 64 unique rolls of armor to require a bit of a grind. What isn't okay, however, is only being able to acquire those 184 drops from one mission in the entire game, which is why step 2 of the solution is to add exotic class item drops to all sources of Destiny content. By increasing the number of sources that exotic class items can drop from, players will acquire drops much more naturally just through the activities that they are already playing with friends. Furthermore, this gives players another reason to hop into activities with friends that they have already gotten all of the loot from. For example, if a friend asks you to run a Crota's End raid with them, but you already have all of the weapons crafted from that raid, at least you'll still have an exotic class item waiting for you at the end of your run. In doing this in all areas of Destiny, that 184 drop figure becomes significantly more reasonable as you'll be accruing a significant number of exotic class items through the activities that you already do. And for those who want to expedite that process and acquire all possible roles even more quickly, you'll still have the farmable Dual Destiny mission that you can run to your heart's content. So if you watching this right now agree in any part with the proposition that this video poses, please put your stamp of approval on it by hitting that like button down below. If you feel there's anything I missed or any alternate solutions that you would propose, please leave them in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, tagging that subscribe button so I can catch you in the next one would be a real pleasure. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.
Good stuff, Mac. Somebody brought up a good solution just now. What if you could, at the end, you interact here, and just like at the end of a raid, that's where you can like do the sacrifice exotic Ingram, spend a cipher or something to maybe lock in a trade. There's so many different solutions. The other solution too, you can honestly just sacrifice a duplicate exotic class item. Spend 2 exotic Ingrams at Raul, problem solved. Les, first up, exotic Ingrams are way too plentiful, okay, Les? This isn't First Descendant, brother. This is a real looter shooter that we're playing. This is called Destiny 2, all right? Exotic Ingrams are way too plentiful. So we can't just everybody's literally walking around with a max inventory of exotic Ingrams. So I don't believe like just going there and turning in an exotic Ingram with Raul is the fix we're looking for here. I think a knockout system would be nice. That's probably not going to exist. I think a way to lock in one of the traits. If you look at all the traits, you know, if you come right here, if I was like, look, I really want Spirit of the Ambient, I will sacrifice an exotic Ingram every run of Dual Destiny. And no matter what, every run will net me an exotic class item with Spirit of Ambient. Now I can't control anything in this column. Or I can lock in some. I can only lock one column for either side. But I keep running and I sacrifice an exotic Ingram every single time. Or it can even be like, you could do it for chests too, if you want to do it for chests. Like if you didn't want to do Dual Destiny. But some way to just lock in a single trait and say, hey, I want to lock in Spirit of Contact right up here, or Spirit of Star Eater. And let RNG just be dictated in that other column. They got some of the mechanics, make it a 3-man activity, problem solved. Well, the idea of Dual Destiny, guys, is for it to be a dual activity. Like that's literally ingrained. That's at its core is what it is. What if you had a master version that you could select 3 possible perk combinations at the end? That may be worth it. Yeah, a master version. God, man, people are getting shit on in the normal version though. But sure. Why not just allow only to decrypt 3 exotic class items for Raul per class each week? Les, I don't think we should be going to Raul for this. I would rather just do it via the mission. I think the mission is worth doing. I think the mission's really good. But obviously, Mac's solution would fix probably all of these issues. You wouldn't even have to overthink it. I'm overthinking it. His solution would be straight up increase the drop chances everywhere. And that would incentivize you playing a bunch of different activities. Look, man, I will say it feels good to have the best, like the role that no one else has. I know that people don't like exotic class items, especially for builds, because they're like, I don't have that combination and it sucks for you. But I don't know, man. I have Spirit of Severance and Spirit of Synthesis, and I fuck up so much stuff, dude. The amount of things you can kill with a single melee is insane. Hopefully Bungie's looking at this and looking to address it. Just let us checkpoint the balls. Dude, some of y'all, like, there's a spectrum here. There's those that are like, we gotta earn it. And then there's those that's like, just give me the shit. Just give it to me. I tell you, here's where exotic class items will get the most annoying. It will become its most annoying when Bungie says, hey, we're adding 2 more traits to column 1 and 2 more traits to column 2. And they don't change any way of a knockout system or drop rates. That's going to be really annoying. I just want a vault and collections rework before I care about this. Okay. Dude, we just need bigger vaults. We just need a bigger vault. I mean, I don't know. At this point, we need 1,000. We need 1,000 vault space. We need to sacrifice last-gen consoles. We need to take out PlayStation 4 and the old Xbox. And we need to increase vault space for everyone else by 1,000 or up to 1,000. We've been saying this for a long time. I'm sorry, last-gen guys. It's over. Vault is a server issue. Oh, is that right? So you're saying, Nameless, that sacrificing last-gen consoles will not in any way increase vault space for us. Oh, Sleepy's got a point. Sleepy says, Until, yeah, I can at least collect one of every in the loot game. So hard to get. Yeah, that's true. So what Sleepy's saying is he's in a vault situation like us where things are just, there's just not enough vault space to accommodate all the drops. Only use like 400 slots, bro. How the fuck do y'all pile up so much trash? We're gamers, brother. We're gamers. What can we say? I don't know how you guys play this game and don't have a full vault. What the fuck are y'all doing? I don't get it. I need 45 ergo sumps. Oh, I will say this. If you don't play PvP and you only play PvE or vice versa, like you're not going to have a full vault. I think a great sign that you have a full vault is someone who is playing both sides of the game. When you're playing PvP and PvE, you're keeping everything, man, because there's gems for both sides. I do both and it's not even half full. Mods, ban Asmodeus. Yeah, ban that guy. I don't know what you we're hoping to accomplish here with that. You're coming in the stream, you talk about your organization skills and your ability to not hoard in a looter shooter. Nobody needs to hear that. I believe the RuneScape player exists in all of us. Some of us are completionists. We want everything in the game. We will play 24 hours a day if necessary to get everything in the game. So y'all are okay with Zer selling it, but not Raul? No, I'm probably not okay with Zer selling one either. You know, I've kind of given out my solutions on it, and I think Mac's solutions are good. I just don't think that exotic Ingram's going to Raul and turn them in for an exotic class combos. I mean, that is something that we could do. We could definitely do that. I just think that, well, then no one is definitely going to run dual destiny. You can cap it at 3 per week. Yeah, but is 3 really going to make, I mean, it's something. It is a little something. Yeah. Kill your teammate at the end, take their exotic class item. Okay, that's pretty fucking good. Actually, no. That would be fucking fantastic. Just for the content alone.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.